All right, we're going to pull back the curtain on some financial strategies that, let's be honest, you definitely didn't learn in high school. We're diving into the world of billionaires' secrets. So let's start with a company literally everyone on Earth knows, McDonald's. What if I told you that the story you've always believed about how they make their billions? Well, it isn't exactly the whole truth. So what is this big secret, right? Well, it all starts with what I like to call the Great Burger Lie. It's a fundamental misunderstanding of one of the biggest brands on the entire planet. When you think of McDonald's, what pops into your head? Burgers and fries, of course. It seems so obvious. Their whole brand is built on serving billions and billions of people fast, cheap food. So we just assume that's where the massive fortune is made. But here is the big twist. The real engine of their wealth isn't the grill, it's the ground. You see, McDonald's is actually one of the largest real estate companies in the world. They make their real billions from the land under every single one of their franchises. The burgers, they just make sure the rent gets paid. And this is brilliant because it illustrates our first core principle today. It's a concept that really separates the wealthy from everyone else. The idea that true lasting freedom is found in equity. This slide breaks it down perfectly. You've got cash flow. That's the money coming in from the burgers. It's absolutely crucial, right? It pays the bills. But then there's equity, owning the land itself. That is what builds real generational wealth. That's the stuff that buys you freedom. So just so we're crystal clear, equity is the value of an asset that you own. Think of it as your slice of the pie. It's not just income you spend every month. It is the absolute foundation of long-term wealth. And that's the first hidden law we're unlocking today. So you have this valuable asset, you've got this equity, but how do you actually use it to get even richer? Well, that brings us to our next secret, the absolute magic of leverage. You know, most of us are taught to save our pennies to get rich. And that's not bad advice. But billionaires, they're playing by a completely different set of rules. They don't just save money, they use money. Okay, let's look at a modern example on a massive scale. When Elon Musk bought Twitter, the price tag was a mind-boggling $44 billion. I mean, how does one person even come up with that kind of cash? He didn't just sell off his Tesla stock. No, he used it as collateral. He held on to a super valuable asset, he borrowed billions against it, and then he used that money to buy a new asset. And here's the kicker. This move allowed him to get all that cash without ever selling his stock and facing a monster tax bill. That is the magic of leverage. So, we've talked about owning assets and using leverage. But now, what do you do with those assets? Let's talk about a piece of advice you've probably heard a million times: diversification. But what if I told you it's actually a trap? We hear it constantly from Wall Street, right? Don't put all your eggs in one basket. But what if that advice is really just designed to keep you safe, not to make you truly wealthy? Is spreading your focus and your capital thin always the best path? This table really shows the two mindsets perfectly. Wall Street advises most people to diversify for slow, steady growth. But the wealthiest people? They do the opposite. They concentrate their wealth and their energy into businesses they can control, and they aim for massive exponential growth. Now, let's be very, very clear here. This is not reckless gambling. It's not about betting the farm on one roll with the dice. It's a calculated, focused strategy. So, how do all of these pieces, the equity, the leverage, and the concentration, how do they all fit together? Well, this brings us to the final part of our explainer today, the philosophy behind building your own empire. This unified strategy is really a balancing act. On one side, you protect what you have at all costs. You limit your potential losses. But on the other side, you look for opportunities with massive, massive potential for growth. We're talking deals that could return 100 times your investment. So let's just summarize these new rules of wealth that we've uncovered. First, own assets that generate wealth. That's your equity. Second, use other people's money to grow faster. That's leverage. Third, concentrate your focus to achieve extraordinary results. And finally, the golden rule that holds it all together. Protect your core empire at all costs. So we've pulled back the curtain on some of the hidden laws of money. The question I really want to leave you with is this. Now that you know them, which rule will you use first to start building your own empire?